Well, good evening, everyone. We are keeping up with all things Olympics. Hope you've been enjoying the action. We certainly have been.
That's right.
Yeah.
Continued from Paris. That's right. It was another big day for Team USA if you were watching. And if not, we're here for you. Right now, everyone's talking about the women's gymnastics team completing their redemption tour with a dominating performance at the team final. So this is a spoiler alert. So if you are tuning into this stream, please turn your volume down. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. But if you did watch this, if you even haven't watched this, something you're going to want to see.
Even if you did watch it, you can watch it again, right?
See it again.
For sure.
Back on top, winning the gold here.
Yes, the team finished nearly 6 points ahead of silver medalist Italy, Brazil grabbing bronze, and the girls we know talked about wanting to redeem themselves after winning silver at the Tokyo Games. As we could see, they did just that. Oh, exciting.
That's right. Simone Biles led the team to gold. Crazy to think about. Where we were 3 years ago, and she removed herself from this type of competition with the twisties, changing the conversation on mental health for a lot of athletes. So she led the team, officially the most decorated American gymnast with 8 medals. 38. I think she has 38 medals total, not just with the Olympics, but just in all, with all of her world competitions.
Yeah. I mean, she still could win more because you got, the individual and then individual apparatus. I mean, so there's opportunities for a lot more medals here. And like I said, I think if you watch it already, I know I did, I watched it in the middle of the day, but there's something about the primetime programming where they
add context.
They put it together and it seems to be even better. And I don't know, even when I know the outcome of like a football game, it's always fun to go back and watch it, especially in the evening. And it was spectacular. If you didn't see it, it was so dominating.
Well, I think it's funny that we all know the medal count for Simone Biles, but she apparently doesn't, because afterwards she was quoted as saying, "I don't keep count, I don't keep
good for
stats."
her.
She essentially said, "I would have to go to Google to find out how many medals I have." But maybe that's some insight on maybe the mental health element or the mindset that you kind of have to be great in a field.
She probably doesn't even think about it. She just wants to win all the time and doesn't really keep track of it. It's just because then it keeps you sharp for every one, because you're not settling. It's like, I don't care, I'm on one. The next one's the best one.
Well, her floor routine music, I think, was Beyonce and Taylor Swift. So I'm sure that probably helped
Did you see
juice
the
her
height
up.
Oh, yeah.
of her tumbling passes? It's like 12 feet off the ground.
She's incredible.
And I said yesterday, everybody that watches, I mean, they had a shot, I think, of Michael Phelps, Miss Williams, Serena Williams was in attendance, and then they shot straight to Simone. So 3 different goats of different sports in the same arena.
You know what's funny is that when you watch it, I don't know if you've seen some of the clips, it's mostly on social media, of some of the other competitors so excited to see her in the middle of the competition. They're competing against her and they want to get her autograph. It reminds me of when Michael Jordan was playing and he'd go overseas for these international events. And they're just in awe of competing against
kind of a
them.
spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, she is the Michael Jordan of gymnastics. It's unbelievable.
They look good.
Well, speaking of, looking good, being elite, you have to look good too, right? When you are on Team USA. These are really incredible leotards that these gymnasts have been wearing. So yes, nearly 10,000 crystals on them. So if you felt like you were blinded watching all of these routines, you really are. It's because all of, the shine is hitting you in the eye. So what we're seeing is the Go for Glory design. This was 2 years in the making and really just captures the moment an athlete transcends to become a symbol of triumph.
It's cool to see. I mean, they're going to shine as brightly as those medals will be around their necks. So.
Yeah, and they're going to wear a completely different leotards.
Yes,
right?
they have multiple designs. $3,000 per leotard.
Wow.
And apparently it's a team of 50 people, and it's laser cut. So if you're wondering how does it fit them so well, that's how they get the design so precise. And in some cases they are hand placing some of these crystals.
It's got to be. That's the only way you could do that.
Because they're just too big to do it by machine.
I mean, once in a lifetime experience. They deserve once in a lifetime type of fits.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is just pretty.
Yeah.
Also, top of folks' minds, major upset in tennis. Oh,
yeah,
it's tough
to
see.
This hurts.
Yeah,
I saw that. It was brutal.
Yes, lost to Croatia's Dana Vecic following this controversial line call.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. Obviously, it was a little emotional, I think, for her as well. You could see tears streaming down her face as she was kind of, not necessarily in an argument, but in a talk-back discussion with the umpire at the time. And obviously, in the moment, you saw the technology and where that ball fell. But she is not out of a chance to win a medal. She has both the mixed doubles match that was happening today, and then she also has another chance to do just the doubles as well. So sad for her. I know it's not something she would have wanted to go home with, Nothing in this respect, but she's still the world number 2 and still has 2 opportunities.
I think she felt a lot of pressure on her. She was a flag bearer and stuff, so she probably felt that pressure. And probably in the moment, that's when she realized, I mean, I felt like I was letting people. She didn't, but I can understand how she would be emotional.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, in any field, I just want to say, I feel like officiating can be kind of contentious, and it's interesting to me to not have replay.
Yeah, which is weird, and that's the worst thing about this is, I mean, I'm amazed with the production values of these whole Olympics, like every event. There's so many camera angles, and the fact that everybody at home knows exactly where that ball was, and the people on the court can't look at that, it seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Maybe they'll change that at some point. IOC's got to look at that. All right, well, another medal for Team USA. And this sport has been taking the world, not just the USA, by storm.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, women's rugby, sevens. If you were watching us at 6, you heard Nick Carboni talking about this a bit. But yes, winning bronze here, making it the first American team to medal in the sport. Team USA winning an equivalent of essentially a walk-off, beating Australia 14-12.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch. We know there's some superstars on this team. Alona Maher has been talking about. She has a platform. And I think she was just astonished as the rest of the team seeing their teammate go down the field and win. The team's co-captain, Naya Tapper, is a Charlotte native. You may remember her. She graduated from West Mech, but the smiles on those women's faces. Even I saw Alona, she had an X post. She was biting on the bronze, saying it was delicious. So you'll see a lot of that.
I mean, this game, I've been mesmerized by the sevens women's rugby because the style of play and these women are just amazing athletes. And if you watch this game, it is the equivalent of like a 95-yard draw play with no time on the clock. And the thing was, that only tied the game. They still have to do a try, which they have to kick it through the goalpost for them to win. So there was still a little bit of drama. It's like an extra point.
Right.
It took them, I mean, you could see even the players on the bench, they're excited, but they're like, calm down, we still got to make this.
Think about this. America loves football, right?
Yeah.
If somebody invests in rugby here in America, I think it's going to take off. We'll see where it goes.
When you watch it, you do see the parallels to football. It is just mesmerizing. And the crazy thing is, some of these tackles, there's no pads. There's no helmet. I mean, they are hitting hard.
It's a physical sport.
I saw a girl, and today, I think it was a New Zealand game. It looked like she broke her arm because she got hit, and she just walked off the field and like it was no big deal. So they are tough women.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point, Colin, I think we are seeing the advent of some, I don't want to say fringe sports now coming into the mainstream, but at least for our country, you know.
But if you see some of these girls that are playing, they will tell you that they got inspired by either seeing a game somewhere or somewhere else, and this is why they're playing in the Olympics. So it goes to show you, if you expose somebody to this, it just opens their eyes. So this is a sport I could go play.
Well, and it like I said, it highlights what a little investment will do. I saw the story about Luol Deng and the basketball team that he's funding as well, that they're about to play the United States basketball team tomorrow. So
South Sudan.
I mean, a little money goes a long way, right? All right, let's talk about this. 2 more athletes with ties to our area here actually made their debut today in a sport we haven't necessarily seen televised much. It's women's 3x3 basketball.
Now, can we talk about the name? The 3x3 or 3x3?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's 3x3.
It's 3. I know we know what it is, but
it's funny that we've the full title, you know.
Yeah, I just feel like I hear everyone saying it differently. But anyway, Sierra Burdick and Derica Hamby both putting on their best today. Sadly, Team USA fell to Germany 17-13. They face Azerbaijan tomorrow. I heard some talk about maybe just they haven't played together for very long, and that kind of hurt them a little bit.
If you watch this is like playing pickup basketball at the park. It's essentially what it is, because it's half court. It's 3-on-3. It's 1 point for a basket, 2 points for a three, which would be a three-pointer. And as soon as they make the basket or miss it, they got to take it back. So it's like you're on defense, offense. It's really quick, fast-paced. So if you ever played pickup basketball 3-on-3, it's essentially what it is. It is fun to watch, but it's a whole different skill set than 5-on-5 full court basketball. So some of the players on 3-on-3 are much different. You got to be big and you got to be able to handle the ball. So you got to be basically a positionless player in this sport.
Cameron Brink went down, and that's who
awesome.
Derica Hamby ended up filling in for. And we were talking a little bit about Nick a couple of weeks back, that it is all about the cohesiveness. And a lot of those women have played together before. They didn't get a lot of time, so it wasn't their fault. But Hamby had 4.
So like if you go out to defend somebody, you got to hope the other 2 are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
So they'll play against Azerbaijan, as you said, Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. And actually, Burdick, she had 2 points, but she's been a decade with the U.S. World Cup team since 2014. So she's had immense experience. Unfortunately for them, though, they'll have another chance to still get in there and try to see if they can podium.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you'll have I'll wait a little bit longer to see one of the major Olympic events that we have.
Oh,
the biggest spectacle out there.
This. Yeah, officials are delaying the start of the men's triathlon until tomorrow. It's because of concerns with the water quality in the River Seine, and this was something that we've talked about headlines leading up to this.
Yeah, it sounds like they were thinking if this could happen, so they have mitigated factors, or they're thinking about where they can redo this. It sounds like, though, this event will be big. You kind of pointed it out. It's a free event, and they're expecting 250,000 people to watch it once they get this rescheduled.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the sad part about it, because it was going to be in a public setting. So on the river, think about this in the middle of a downtown Paris, where everyone could watch it. But you also understand, you're in an urban setting, you have a river, there's a lot of pollution, and it's not just regular, it's E. coli.
Well, it's spent.
And the rainfall apparently is what did them in with this case.
Yeah, and that's what you always worry about. You get rapid runoff, it's going to cause the bacteria levels. And we see it here locally. You'll hear about an overrun of a sewer system or something into a cove on Lake Norman or Lake Wylie. It's not too different than what's happening in the River Seine.
Well, Paris, they spent $1.5 billion before the games to clean up the river, so unfortunately that money may have gone back to the Seine River, I guess.
And there in the river taking a swim before the game saying, it's all good, folks.
But you get a big, heavy rainfall, there's just not much you can do. That runoff just goes right in there.
Yeah.
Well, another bummer's here as far as events being postponed here. Surfing competition in Tahiti also postponed, and this is because of what they're calling unfavorable conditions. And forecasters predict the surf will be large until tomorrow.
Well, Brad, you know more about this, but there's 4 days out of a 10-day stretch that they're allotted for the competition, so they're really relying on forecasters to pick the best days here.
Yeah, you know, this part of the world, this is the South Pacific, at Tahiti's and French Polynesian Islands. It's in the middle of nowhere, so it gets hammered by huge storms, not just nearby. You could have storms thousands of miles away that give these big swells. So it's known for its surfing because of that, but it's almost too good. The waves are too dangerous. They're gigantic. If you've watched this, to me, this is one of the other great events I've loved, because the way they're producing this and shooting this with divers in the water and drones, it is spectacular. But you oftentimes see the reef. It's right below the water. If you crash on these waves, you're getting ground into a coral reef. It's really,
like concrete.
It's really dangerous. So when the waves are this tall, you understand why they got to postpone it until that storm subsides.
You're talking about the way they're presenting this. I mean, having those shots as the wave rolls over the photographer and then seeing the surfer go through that channel, it really is inspiring.
The Brazilian surfer, the viral picture of him in the air, it looks like he's
number one.
There's no way you're getting that, because that shot is actually from the other side of the wave out in the ocean shooting back. So they would never have that if there's not somebody in the water with cameras shooting it. It's amazing.
So cool.
And the surfers know where the cameras are too, which is so cool.
Because he's aiming right there. He's like, I mean, that. If you got to watch the video of that when he comes out of the barrel, because he kind of disappears, and you're like, is he in there? And he comes shooting out. And then he goes up and jumps the wave and does that because he knows he had a great
for the
run.
camera.
Oh, I love it.
Well, for the surfing fans, it sounds like we could get an update on the rescheduling today, but it's going to be late, like 11:45 tonight. So.
Yeah, it could go into tomorrow, it sounds like.
Yeah, because it's weird. You know, over in Paris, everything's happening early in the day. In Tahiti, it's all happening late at night because in the middle of the night, it's daytime over there. So it's surfing's actually one thing. If you're a night owl, that's one of the events you want to watch.
Yeah. Well, they do have some reserve days apparently built in through August 5th.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit
watch
of
surfing. If you
there.
watch a replay, just watch it once. You'll be mesmerized by it. It's amazing.
I know. You've been talking about it.
It's one of those, I feel like this happens every Olympics for me. You're like, I don't know what this sport is, whatever, and you just flip through and you're like, and all of a sudden you realize I've just spent an hour watching something that I don't even understand because, but the way you, like you said, the way they're presenting it was amazing. Like the equestrian, I think it was called cross country, which I was mesmerized by. They were going across bridges and through water, and it would look like through like a park. And it was just amazing. The visuals of it just blew me away, and I couldn't pull my eyes off it.
Yeah.
As a parent watching, I'm like, that's going to be an expensive sport.
Oh, man. Well, there's a lot of those.
That's a whole story.
My kid was like, I want to do that, Daddy. I'm like,
wait till they see dressage with the equestrians and the horses. Well, we got to get a look at the medal count here. Last check, U.S. still in the lead here. 26, host country France in second with 18, and then China rounding out top three with 14.
Where's Great Britain? Kind of down there.
Oh.
Interesting stuff.
Hey, we're only, what, a couple days into this. We got a long ways to go.
That's true. Shouldn't throw any shade yet.
Much more to come tonight, too. We've got primetime Olympics here on WCNC Charlotte, jam-packed schedule. We got fan favorites, as we mentioned, Simone Biles and the women of Team USA. We gave you a little bit of a teaser / spoiler, but you're going to want to watch it again. And then they go back to the pool, men's 100-meter freestyle final.
That's right. Then the women's backstroke final, and then later, Bobby Fink tries to defend his gold medal title in the men's 800-meter freestyle final. Then, stick around for our late newscast. That's going to be at 11:30 tonight, guys, not 11. Just so you know, we've had a few viewers ask us where they can find the full schedule. We've got that for you on our website. Right now, it also has a streaming and on-air schedule, so you know exactly when your favorite event or maybe athlete is happening and where to watch. You can check that out on our homepage. Don't forget our 7 o'clock newscast coming up in about 10 minutes.